What else we've been learning about is Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, which got a big overview trailer this morning that is out on April 16th on Switch 1, backwards compatible on Switch 2. And we got a really great look at this game. Most of the stuff we already knew, but Reb, I thought this trailer was great.
I thought it was great too. I'm so excited for this. Oh my gosh, it was so dumb.
What do you think?
I loved it.
It is dumb.
Yeah. It's just... Tomodachi Life is this really strange game where when I'm thinking about it but not looking at it, like I'm just wandering around and thinking, oh yeah, Tomodachi Life is coming out, I think, it's probably not going to be very interesting. It's just a bunch of little guys. Like I don't really need to get into that. But then every time I see gameplay of it, I'm like, oh no, this is going to be so much fun because it's just a bunch of weird little dudes in weird situations being silly. This is going to be a quintessential meme game, and I'm here for it. I love this trailer. I am baffled and confused by their decision to just let people free draw faces. Like, that is... Yeah,
more and more you can see why they're like, oh, you can't share screenshots directly from this game. I still think it's a terrible choice, but you see how they got there.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not going to be inappropriate on this show, but instantly people are going to draw very inappropriate things on faces of their characters. Like, they're just going to do it. It is a known thing in video games that if you give players the ability to freely create things, they will find ways to draw inappropriate things. Like, that's going to happen. But then also, like, for people who are not, like, weird about their me is like, that does open up a lot of really interesting possibilities for what you could potentially do to create these little characters. So that's kind of exciting. There's a lot of different possibilities, especially to, recreate cartoon characters or celebrities or just make weird alien dudes, like whatever. Make cat girls, as I see a cat girl appear on screen. Whatever. And so there's that level of freedom, and then this trailer also sort of demonstrated the ways in which these characters are going to interact over time, and it ended up being a little more... It's broader than I thought it was going to be. My biggest concern about this game is that it'll get very boring very fast, because eventually you'll just be seeing the same interactions over and over, but it seems like there's a lot of room and possibility for just... I don't want to say infinite, because it's not infinite, but like a pretty massive collection of different kinds of things to happen.
Yeah, I think so too. And I actually previewed Tomodachi Life. I got to play a couple hours of it, and that's been my experience so far, Reb. I think this game's going to be incredible. I love what I have played so far. Basically, I just got to start an island and throw in about 6 residents into it. So I made a me of myself. I made one of my fiance. I made one of a couple of my favorite Major League Baseball players. I put Samus in there, and I put Reggie Fils-Aimé in there. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's see what happens. And it was just hilarious. And there's a lot of Mad Libs to it. There's a lot of, what should I go talk about with King Felix Hernandez, who's my favorite Mariner of all time from Seattle. And I was like, you should go, let's talk about Jeff Probst from Survivor. I'm really into Survivor right now. And then I go to Felix, and Felix is like, I first heard about Jeff Probst about a year ago. And it's just funny. Like, it really is, it is what you put into it, and the dialogue catches you off guard all the time. There are consistent news broadcasts. If you unlock a building, which you do by inviting someone new to your town or checking off some other requirement, a random me is selected from your island to deliver the news as the news anchor. And then they just say the most off-the-wall things. Like, there's one that's like, this building will open in town once you have 2 sets of friends. And in the news broadcast, I don't remember who it was, I think it might have been me, said, as of press time, it's unclear why the business has such strict friend-based requirements, but I assure you that I do not make the news, I just report it. And I just thought that was so good.
That's so good for you. I hope you were the one who wrote that. That's so really funny.
Yeah, and here we go. This is King Felix from the Mariners, who is talking about the new quick build store that opened, and the news report says one resident is quoted as saying, "You mean I could go into this building and buy a whole different building if you say so?" It's just great. Yeah, I have a few other screenshots here that I know Nick has pulled behind the scenes. Yeah, here's Corey Kluber from the Cleveland Guardian saying, "I'm just waiting for the right moment to let loose, but not too loose." And that's another thing that's great is, when you build a me, you assign different traits to their personality. There's like 4 different categories. It's like, do they move slow or do they move fast? Are they polite or are they honest? Are they, do they think or are they fun? I don't know. There's like little things like that.
Do they think or are they fun?
It was like, it was like, are they serious or are they fun?
Oh, there's Jeff Probst.
I first heard about Jeff Probst almost a year ago.
That's really
funny.
And
then based on those check boxes, you get a personality. And the personalities for everyone I've made have been so freaking accurate. It's crazy. Like I made one for Samus, and it's like Samus is like this go-getter who likes to work alone, and she takes her job very seriously. I'm like, it's perfect. Like super in-depth stuff. Yeah, here's Felix talking about Jeff Probst. What's the next one, Nick? It was Reggie's birthday.
He's got a little himself on the cake.
So there is, there's my fiance throwing Reggie a birthday party, which was just adorable. And then they cut to reactions from around the town. There's me and my fiance. We're already falling in love on this island. Because
did they do that organically, or did you force that in the game?
You can set pre-existing relationships when you make a me, and it's like you can say, oh, is Logan related already to anyone on the island? And you can say who your partner is in real life. They don't start that way. It's just in the simulation they're more likely to gravitate towards each other. Yeah. And it's also so like you cannot marry your sibling or your dad or something, like because you can set those relationships, because otherwise any me can get together with whoever they want. So there's that. And then how many more do we have, Nick? Yep, this is me. I got to give myself a Nintendo Switch. Oh. So that is my me sitting on the ground playing
in
a
an
Nintendo
empty
Switch.
room, just sitting on the floor in an empty room. Yeah,
that's my life. That is an accurate representation of my life. And they say this is a classic scene. And I thought that was just funny because my me is so much like me. It's very funny. My personality is reserved perfectionist. I'm like, that's pretty accurate. So it's great. I have super high hopes for this full one, and I think it's just going to be a blast.
As I was watching this trailer that came out today, I was thinking, because, it's talking about stuff. There's a bit about a couple of these me's, like, having a baby, and it was a really funny little, like, scene with the baby going, and it was good. But I was thinking that a lot of these features are, it's very Sims-like. Like, we have the Sims already. And it is very detailed and in-depth and has, like, a gajillion different things you can do and a gajillion different kinds of interactions you can have. And people have made mods for it out the wazoo. And so in a way, like, we already have a much better version of this. But at the same time, there's something so refreshing and delightful about playing within limitations. And so the fact that this is like a little, I say limited, you can seemingly do quite a bit in this game, but the fact that it is sort of designed around putting these characters together and having them have silly interactions, but then having like sort of a limited amount of space to do that. And, not having like literally it doesn't look like there's dynamic weather or whatever in this game. Like, you don't need it. Maybe there is, but you know what I mean? Like The Sims has so much more going on, but because this has certain limitations that other Sims games that tell you can do everything don't have, I think this could potentially end up being quite a bit funnier and more interesting for that.
I think so too. It's filling a niche that very few of these other kind of simulation or customizable cozy games do, where it's like it's all about the characters. And that is usually not the case with these. I mean, you can also, we've seen in directs, tear down the island, build it however you want. That's there too. But it is really about this Mad Libs of it, and this just, I'm going to throw in my favorite athletes, my best friends, myself, my coworkers, celebrities, and just see what happens. And the humor of it is the inside joke of it to you. And I think that's just makes it feel really personal in a way that some of these other ones, they feel personal in different ways, but I think this just strikes something in me that these other ones don't. So I just think it's great.
Yeah, it feels like sort of the other side of the coin to what I'm doing in Pokopia right now. So campaign aside, what I'm doing in Pokopia is I'm custom building like this whole world, and I'm like painting blocks, and I'm hanging vines, and I'm putting in windows, and I'm building like all these very elaborate like custom structures. And the characters, I mean, they were important during the campaign, but now they're kind of secondary. Like there's just a bunch of Pokemon wandering around. I don't really know why they're there. I give them houses sometimes. In this one, I mean, you can custom build an island, but I imagine you cannot build the same level of like super elaborate, complicated custom structure. But that's not the point. The point is these people that are in it. And so it's just the other side of that. And I'm glad that this exists.
Yeah, and the people level up. When you raise their happiness level, they level up, and then you get to give them something. And so, like, I gave myself a baseball glove and a ball, and I gave my fiance a guitar, and then you can also give them quirks. Like, I made Samus do this gravity walk, where, like, she walks like she's walking on the moon, because that's, like, how she walks in Super Metroid. And, like, I gave Felix from the Mariners a catchphrase that he said after a game once, so now sometimes he just randomly says it.
What's the catchphrase?
Oh, he said, "This is my house," and that's his catchphrase.
So
he said it walking off the field once. Yeah, it's like how he says hi to people. And there's just so much you can do. You can make somebody slouch if they have bad posture. You can make them stand with their arms crossed. And so you want to level them up so you can make them more like themselves or different than themselves. And then every time you do, they say, I feel like I'm getting closer to my true self. And it's brilliant. I think the character systems are even deeper than we know yet. I think there's going to be a ton of interactivity with them.
Yeah.